Hey everybody, and welcome back to another witness analysis video. I think we ended off last time looking at these little model tree houses. Presumably they're in progress designs for the treetops area, where we learned the star symbols. So I guess let's continue on through the mountain and see what we run into. Don't think we went down here last time. So yeah, so we kind of come in here and there's not like there's a slight flashing visible panel there, but it's not super visible, so it's possible that we kind of go look out here first, right? And see, okay, we can walk over here, I guess, and maybe we're got to get over there because there's looks like there's some puzzles over there. Then you might turn around and say, oh, okay, there was a puzzle there, I didn't see that. And maybe you'd see that there was like some stuff up there too. Maybe not. In any case, we got our flashing colors, we got our colored flowers that are sort of like a callback to, I guess, the color puzzles, right? Yeah. Some of our petals are falling off. We're losing color here. So this is a much, I guess, hated set of puzzles. I happen to really like these puzzles, but I understand why people don't like them. You know, the argument is always that they're very non-colorblind friendly. I think it's hard to do puzzles with color, period, that are colorblind friendly, because people who people who are colorblind tend to have like a bit of a insecurity, I guess, about whether or not they're right. They're like not sure that they can trust their judgment, right? So even though they might look at this and group these colors into like two groups, they're not sure about that. And another thing, right, is like with this set, it's like I'm talking meta about this rather than the individual puzzles, but it's what's occurring to me, right? With this set, it's like a little bit of the trick of the set is that it makes you think that it matters what the specific colors are, when it's actually like there's not really. I mean, I guess on this one, canonically, this is like blue, right? But there's not really a canonical color for things. It's like color is just, is it the same color as this other thing or not, right? Anyway, so on the first one we can kind of like maybe just sort of work through it because the panel's not that big. Even though like we're staring at the splashing thing that might make us want to like throw up or something, we can eventually kind of sort out where those are, right? Is there another solution here? I mean, I guess you can obviously do like alternatives where you just do this or whatever, right? So on this one, what do we want to say? Obviously there's a line we have to go through this hexagon, right? And we've got a blue here and a blue here, and so obviously this is meant to plant that question in your mind, and this is green. Plant the question in your mind, okay, which of these is blue and which of these is green, right? I often find that they're easier to do from further away than close up, because close up you're just kind of like overwhelmed by the flashing colors. But you know, the thing that you kind of have to think about is more like, is this the same as this? It's like when you look at it, it's like, okay, no, this is different, right? This one's different. And is this the same as this? Okay, well, this is like the same, right? And is this the same as this? Okay, no, it's different, right? And because you can kind of say, well, that's different, and that's the same, and that's the same. You can say that, okay, this one is in this group. And if you like defocus your eyes a little bit, you can tell that like this one and this one are in sync in terms of how they're flashing, right? And that lets us know that, okay, this and this are grouped with these, and this are the same, right? So these three are together, and then these are the same as these ones. Does that make the puzzle easy? Yeah, I guess so, because we basically just do this, right? And yeah, so it's just about like making that assessment, right, of groups. So moving forward, now we've reintroduced stars. I did actually, like, you can hack the launcher on PC to make the panel resolution higher, and I did actually do that before this video because I remembered like some of these puzzles looked a little bit pixely. So we got a star here and a star here, right? The determination is whether the stars are the same color or not, right? Really, that's like kind of everything. Is it the same color, right? So we know the star is yellow. We know this is yellow, and this is yellow. Or we know that they're the same, right? Because we can see that it's fixed, it's given. And this one we can also see, like, it's flashing on this side. And then we just have to see, is this the same as this? And it's like, well, no, because the flashing's different. Like, this is flashing the same as this, and this is flashing the same as this. So it's like a little bit of a trick, because you would think to pair the stars together, but you can't actually do that. Can we probe this one? Because I think later you kind of get into where it's like you just have to probe, right? Meaning that like you just have to group them and see whether it errors. But right now we can tell that it's different because it's different from this one, right? Like I said, it's easier to tell if you like step back. You can kind of then space your eyes out a bit more and tell like these are in sync and that these are in sync, right? And then because we know this one is the same as this one and this is the same as this one, that these are actually the yellow ones over here, or the ones that are the same as this one. Because like I said, the absolute color is kind of trying to, I guess, disabuse you of the notion that the absolute color matters that much. Now here is, I guess, a little bit of the tricky bit, because I have to separate blue and also group yellow. So this is yellow and this is also yellow. So I think we can do this possibly. Yeah, okay. Alright, so now we're put into a bit of a tricky position, right? Because it's like, well, now we don't have this nice little bit where we could see half of one and know, oh, well, this bit that's flashing is that color, right? Or same here where we saw like half of one and half of another, right? So we're screwed, right? Well, the thing is there's a little bit of a technique to this, right? Now, of course, I think you can probe it, but you can also say that if this was pink and this was also pink, the puzzle would be impossible, right? So if this one was pink and this one was green and this one was pink and this one was green, you actually wouldn't be able to solve the puzzle, because there'd be no way to actually separate those, because you can't like draw back over yourself to separate both, right? Because to separate this green from this pink, you'd have to draw a line through here, but you also need to draw a line through here to separate this pink from this green. So you know that this must be green and this must be pink, because otherwise the puzzle would be impossible. So it's a little bit of a Yomi thing. I don't know if I've used that term in these videos before. Yomi is kind of a term from Go, like playing Go. It sort of has to do with trying to get into the mind of your opponent. And so if we're thinking about like the game designer, let's say, or the puzzle designer as our opponent here, you kind of have to like get into the mind of the game designer and say, okay, well, if the game designer tried to design a puzzle like with these being like that, it wouldn't even work, right? So it's not exactly a Yomi thing. Like sometimes a Yomi thing is more like you just played a lot of the game, and so you kind of gather that the game wouldn't do that type of thing. But this is more just like a general principle about how the puzzles work. So we know that that's green and that that's also green, right? And of course you can also check and see that this doesn't flash, right? Because obviously if they were different colors, right, then it would flash. So we can also check it that way. So that's the other way you can do it, is just probe it. So there's kind of two approaches there. Now, so we're again in that same little section where we have to think about, okay, there is two colors, right? Again, we can step back if it's hard to tell. You can see that like the flashing sets, assuming you can see color well enough to see the flashing sets synchronizing. There's two synchronizations, right? This one's offset, I guess, kind of, 180 degrees or 90 degrees around the color wheel from this one. And then these two are, so this are the same, and this are the same, right? And this is a Tetris block, right? So we're stuck putting it here because, or here, I guess. There's only two real possibilities of where to put it. And we can't really do this because, again, we need to like have a line that goes through there, right? So we're pretty much stuck with this is going to be the option here, right? Which, if you know the pairing rule between the stars and the, I should have, maybe that was coming from my phone. Okay, let me mute my phone. Sorry, Discord notification. I thought it was on the desktop, but it was on my phone. Okay, so if you know the pairing rule with the stars, then you can get through here. I've heard some people complain about like that the end game area requires you to know the pairing rule with stars and other symbols. I can kind of agree that maybe that's a little bit cruel because it is like an edge case thing. Plus, it's being done in these like flashing panels where you're already probably confused. But we got two stars here, and the two stars are different colors. So we know that the stars have to pair with something, right? This star can pair with this, right? But the other thing we could say is that you can't pair either of these stars like this, right? You can't do this. Let's just ignore that L block for now. You couldn't do this because we're forced to have those two greens together, right? So if we do it, well, I think I did it wrong anyway, but you get the idea of what I'm saying. Yeah, because this one's magenta. But say you were doing this, right? Doing this. You can't do that because we're forced to have two magentas no matter what, right? And this can't be with two of these other things because it comes three. So anyway, maybe it's a little cruel that this puzzle's about that pairing rule with other symbols, but I don't know. It's the end of the game. It's, I guess, supposed to be difficult. Could be easier, but it is what it is. I've often said, like, the biggest problem with this game is that the ending is at the top of this mountain, which, like, although conceptually and thematically is appropriate, it means that almost nobody gets up here and goes and does the mountain before they've done all 11 lasers. Because it's seen as like, oh, I have to go all the way out of my way to get up to the top of the mountain, so I'll just come back here when I've done everything. And people don't usually notice that they only have to do 5 of the areas or whatever, or how many ever it is. I can't remember. It's like 7 or something. I don't know. Anyway, so we know that this is green and that this is magenta. So this is magenta, this is magenta, this is green, this is green. We're going to pair this with this. We know that because it's the only thing we can pair it with. And we're going to pair this with this because it's the only thing we can pair it with, because otherwise we're forced into like 2 groups, right? That's pretty much the puzzle as far as I remember. The question, Raymond, is how do we go about pairing those things? I think we do it like this. Yes, that's it. Oh wait, I screwed up something. Oh yeah, because this has to get separated. Oh gosh. That does make things somewhat trickier. So maybe we do have to pair this first, but I don't think so, because then we're going to be forced into this little conundrum. Looks like we got to go up and then down first. And then... oh no, that's not going to work. So it's got to be this. Pair this. There we go. No, yes, okay. I just forgot to close off that bottom bit was all. Okay, so last one. We're full tutti frutti psychedelic Technicolor Dreamcoat going on here, right? Now, in a way, this one is not as difficult because the colors don't shift, right? It's purely just there's a background here with different colors. And it's hard to see because the thing's moving around. And my guess is always, I guess sort of spoilers, but my guess was always that the bonus color puzzle used to be here, but was seen as too difficult and got cut and put into the bonus area. And instead this one was put here that was sort of interesting, but not difficult, right? Because this one's really the difficult one anyway. So you might ask, why is this one even here? Probably it was actually, now that I'm thinking about it, this was probably here, and then that one that's in the bonus area, it was there. That's probably what it was, because this sort of gives you like a sense of what that one is and what's going on, right? I think anyway. Except that one, I think actually it does shift the symbols. Anyway, I guess that's a roundabout way of saying I'm not entirely sure why this one is the way it is, because it seems really easy, right? You know, I don't know if it used to shift the color of the symbols and now it doesn't. I don't know if because I hacked the panel resolution it's busted. Someone will hopefully let me know if that's the case. Oh, my controller was being weird because these controllers suck. Apparently Xbox One controllers, you have to buy like the Microsoft adapter, or you're supposed to, right? Like they're not supposed to run off Bluetooth, but they have that as like a legacy mode, and I guess they don't care that it doesn't work very well. I don't know. Anyway, if we go up here, we can see some kind of architectural drawings and designs of the island from earlier days, earlier in development. Kind of just figuring out how the landscapes come together and how the architecture comes together, right? So that's all nice. It's kind of hard to look at these because you got to go back down the stairs. So some stuff with the town. I guess this area here is kind of not a thing anymore. What would that have been? I don't know. The quarry here looks close to complete. That's part of the town. So I don't know what that one is. It looks like my texture filtering is set wrong. It is definitely set wrong. I thought this game did an ISO by default. Well, maybe there's something with what I set that screwed that up. I don't know. Anyway, but it doesn't look like we're on an ISO filtering, so things are a little blurry at grazing angles. Anyway, so eventually, after being distracted by all of this art and landscape design and all that, as well as our kind of I don't know what you would call this, botanical garden, I guess, right, of all of our different flora. Like we've got all this different kind of bushes and plants and things that grow around the island. They're all just sort of packed in here. Then we may find ourselves at a puzzle, which is another one of these floor puzzles. And this one is probably one of the best puzzles in the game. I don't know that I'm going to go all the way through it because I try to keep these videos spoiler free, and the reason why you might continue doing it is a spoiler. But we'll just go to the kind of normal conclusion of this, right? And leave that as a bit of a mystery. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then there's probably some more to this game that you should try to discover. Okay, so I mean, I did already sort of spoil that there's a bonus area. It might have another color puzzle in it. So we got to separate some stars and some white and some black. Very simple puzzle as far as like the actual layout of things. And I believe like sort of our initial solution is pretty simple. Most people are just going to do kind of whatever, right? And then go to the other side and not really do a minimal solution. But since I kind of know what we're doing, it might make more sense to do a minimal solution or something. I don't even think that's minimal enough. Well, let's just go through, right? Let's just go through, even though we're going to have to go back. And we'll just kind of give the experience of a normal player, right? So a normal player would come over here and be like, oh, thank God, it's not more color flashing puzzles. Come across this sequence that seems to be increasingly distressed puzzles. They look to be kind of hot wired together in a hasty way. And this puzzle seems deceptively easy. Alright, let's move on. Like, wait, that's weird. Why is that one working? Okay. Still pretty easy, I guess. And now we're like out of view of our first one. So it's like, well, does it really matter? Can I just solve these? Oh no, it's not good enough, right? So one of the things that's like a little tricky with this is that like trying to solve them like this is borderline impossible. You need to step back. And we already had a little bit of that earlier where it's like it's snapping you into a place you don't want to be. But this is maybe like something that you're supposed to kind of figure out by this point anyway. But if we stand back, then it's like much easier because we can kind of see what we're actually dealing with, right? And okay, no big deal solving that, right? And most people will kind of do it this way. They'll just sort of go through and solve as they go, right? Just say, okay, so I guess I need to group that this time, and that's going to make this tricky. So maybe I should go around this way instead, because then I can do like this, right? Except that doesn't work because the green is in the way now. So how are we going to get that and not have the green be a problem? Well, maybe we need... Oh, this is tricky. Trying to get these while also preventing or not blocking our exit of the green here. It's tricky. So how do we want to do this? I guess I should think about this first, right? Because that's kind of our thing and how that overlaps with this. So we can definitely do a 3 here, but if we do a 3 there, trying to tack this on top of it, it doesn't go far enough. So that doesn't work. If I do a 3 here, that also doesn't work. So, I guess we have to do something like this, right? Like that's gonna allow this to work. Oh, we don't have to separate green and magenta. I totally forgot. Don't have to separate green and magenta, but we can do something like that at the end there. And that would be just like doing this, right? So that doesn't work. Maybe it does. Oops. Maybe it does. So I do this. Well, what else can we do? We can do a 3 here, and then do this, and that would work as well. Only we didn't get that first one. But we've got room, I think, to get the first one, maybe? Yeah, as long as we don't go all the way up, we've got room to get the first one. So I think we probably could have done it this way anyway, right? Oh, no. We have to get the 1 in there, right? We have to get the 1 in there, which means we have to do like this. Okay, so that pulls us together there. So now we're in a tricky conundrum on this next one, right? Just trying to keep everything on screen. I guess I can do like this. I'd roughly be able to stay standing here. Okay, so now we're in a tricky conundrum where we've got a white here and a white here and a black, right? So we know that white has to get separated from black. And before we just did this, right? Like we just went around and down. And that's not going to work because we haven't separated white from black. So, but we also can't separate magenta. So I feel like you have to get the black one separated somehow, you know? 3 and 2 here still works, so it's just about satisfying that 1 there. So how am I going to do that is the question. I guess I can still snake it up to here, right? I think that still works. And we can do that. And then we can get our 3 here and our 2 here. Okay. So then we're on like, all right, now it's time for business. Because now there's a little 2 yellow here, which means either yellow has to go like this, or it has to go like this somehow. Now, is there some way I can determine conclusively? I don't know if I can. But I will say that that doesn't work. And that's also not going to work. So this seems more doable. Can definitely do this. Well, no, we can't because of the magenta. Therein lies the problem. Because the magenta then needs to go there. So that puts us in a bit of a bind. Don't know whether we want to separate the 2 magentas or separate the white. I guess we could separate the white. But then we're like in this predicament with that. So maybe we can grab the white and keep it in. So now we've got that 3. We're already touching the 3, which is a problem. We are already touching the 3. That is definitely not good action. So I feel like we have to do this somehow. And end like this or something, right? Well, no, that doesn't work because of the green. Remember that? I forgot about that. Yeah, because we can't do that because you can do like this, but that doesn't help either because the green is still... Oh, but I can do like this and end. So we're mostly okay except that black on the bottom. So I need to like do this whole thing I did up here and just grab that on the bottom first. Yeah. Wait. Is this right? Is this right? This doesn't seem right. There we go. Yeah, very clever puzzle. Very tricky, and it's always fascinating to me how it kind of leads you through it in a way that you are never going to have done this earlier than at the very end, right? Because you can kind of like, I don't know, you can sort of imagine that, I don't know, you can sort of imagine doing it that way early on. So yeah, so we're in the same boat where like most people are going to go up here and they're going to run into this and say, well, okay, I can't actually solve this, right? And so then they'll, like, almost everybody does that. And so then that does push you back to like, oh, okay, I guess this is a thing where I have to like go back and resolve this and then like think about how it's going to look on the other side. Which initially seems confusing because it's like, well, does this look the same on the other side? I've sometimes seen people do like this, right? They're like trying to do it this way maybe to begin with. It's like, well, that's not working. So I guess I can't do that. Yeah, so minimally, you gotta separate orange from orange, and I have to leave like enough room from this middle to get to an exit. I left white. Yeah, so I can't go around that, right? Because then that would block this from this side. I wouldn't be able to go through there, right? So I have to go under white. Which means I have to like block that way. Except that didn't work because I'm a moron. We also have to block that this way. Okay, so that's something like that is what you have to do, and doing the minimal thing is sort of the best strategy for this. It's kind of the best strategy through the whole game, right? Is to like just do the minimal thing. And leave yourself as much room as possible. So of course we opened the door. That's great. Solving both of these opens the door. Except I'm not at the door and I can't walk to the door. So now we're kind of in a situation where, okay, I guess we have to like keep going, right? So I think that's always a nice like sigh moment, right? Where it's like, okay. And then the player might be like, all right, so I guess I just gotta solve, go to the exit. It's like, oh wait, no, because those things are like that. So that's not gonna work. So what can we do? I guess we can do this. And yeah, generally I think for this, that's the best strategy, right? Is to go minimal. To like try to go as minimal as possible so that you have as much maneuvering room as possible. So here, minimally would be something like this, I think. Believe that's the most minimal thing. To leave as much maneuvering room as possible. My video like preview over here looks stuttery, but last time I looked at the recording it looked fine, so I don't know. I'm gonna refresh the game capture and maybe that helps. Okay, so now I've got like orange and orange here. And what can we do? Is this what we wanted to do is the question. Is this what we wanted to do? Because I could probably do something else. No. So if I block these off, then what is the problem? Well, that's not really going to help me, is it? So I feel like I'm going like minimal and then minimal. Oh, well, I can do this now that I couldn't do before because now white's separated. So let's try that. I don't know why I'm playing off of my OBS window, but that's what I was doing for a second. I guess because I started looking at it and then I started thinking about the puzzle instead. Okay. So here I could do something like this. It's certainly something I haven't done before. I don't know whether that's what we want to do though. We could also go full minimal like this. That doesn't look like it's going to give us much. And we could also do like this, right? So what am I trying to do? I'm trying to get to this exit, right? I don't know whether I'm getting there with blue or with yellow, but that's what I'm trying to do. If I do this, this definitely gives me more room to maneuver. So I'm going to try that. I don't know that it's going to matter, because I feel like when I do stuff over here, there's not necessarily going to be more room to maneuver, right? Because we just kind of made this one more, this one more responsibility. I guess I theoretically can do something like this, but I don't know if that helps either. That's basically the same as what we had before. So I feel like we need to be able to do, like, get on that side of the line. Now, let's go back to this point. I'm sort of fumbling. Sorry I don't have these memorized. I'm sorry I'm not necessarily an expert on every single puzzle in the game, but this one is a complicated puzzle with a lot of steps, so... okay, going minimal here would be something like this, right? That leaves white. And I feel like we need to be able to pair, like, this with this, but I'm not sure. I guess that's doing like this, maybe? No, that's not ever gonna work. It's not ever gonna work. Oh, we have a blue across and a yellow across, so I actually can do this, right? Again. Is that going to be good enough is the question. No, because I need to nab white as well. Yeah, that should actually work, right? That should be enough. So I guess that's the other key inside, right? Is to realize that, oh, now I actually have one going both ways, and so I can do what I need to do now. Okay, so that's our path through. And the puzzle does keep going a bit to where you can get yellow to exit here. Don't know whether to do that. I think I might leave that for later when we're talking about some of the more secret aspects of the game. That might be worth talking about then. Okay, so now we can go over here, and we've got a elevator, which I often see people solve wrong the first time, but, you know, we take our little elevator and we take it down to the bottom. We look at our Dorito panel with two delicious looking Doritos on it, and we don't solve it because we're not really dealing with those yet either in these videos. I think I'll have a video that covers those, or it'll at least be part of a video. It sort of goes through those. They're sort of scattered around. We got some hanging little boxes. I kind of wonder what's up with that. Maybe that was like an early idea for something that got scrapped. I don't know. Now we're down here at a large empty room. Oh, these puzzles have lit up now. I wonder why they light up when you get down here. My guess is that it's something to do with, like, if you plopped down, or if you looked down, I should say, you'd be able to, like, solve them or something, so they don't light up until you actually step down here. It's kind of interesting. Anyway, so we got 4 puzzles here, right? These puzzles do require you to know this symbol. I've also heard people say that you shouldn't have to know that symbol to get through the mountain. But, I mean... let's draw some shapes, actually, instead of being confused. Oh, what did I do wrong? Oh, that has to... Yeah, of course. I'm a moron. It has to be with something that's not that, and the other thing has to be that. So we have to do, like, this. Okay. This is causing some, like, mysterious cracks to form in the surface. I do not know why anisotropic filtering has been turned off. Maybe there's something in my GPU driver settings that I need to, like, tweak. I don't know. But it's been turned off now. And that's unfortunate. I did not mean for that to happen. This is a puzzle that I don't particularly love, as far as my, like, personal opinion of puzzles in the game goes. Actually, know if this is possible any other way. The reason I don't particularly love it is because I don't really know how you're supposed to, like, come at the actual understanding that you need to solve it, right? Of these giant pixels. I think the first time I played this, I didn't notice that this had this little grid pattern on the thing. It was maybe I did. I don't know. Just always kind of thought of it as like giant pixels and never really thought about the, like, there's a grid pattern there so we can actually see the screen that's displaying these pixels. Anyway, so now these puzzles have become a big puzzle, which in and of itself is tricky enough, but it is also a symmetry puzzle, and the little puzzles define the shape symbols that we must use in the symmetry puzzle, right? So this introduces, like, a few different things, and the symmetry thing is, like, the main thing that you have to understand to solve it. And I think that's why I find it a little bit of a pernicious puzzle. Is just because it's kind of like, you just have to understand so much. You have to, and trying to even understand that these things tie into the bigger puzzle is tough. Often people will think because you can rotate this one here, right, that this is still a rotatey block, right? They'll think they've selected this block rather than it being, you know, because of course you can see that they, like, flash, and it's supposed to be, that's the symbol flashing, right? Is there something that could have been made more clear about that? I don't know. I mean, you could have turned this block yellow, right? And maybe that was a thing, but I don't think that's really necessary. And then, of course, you wouldn't be able to see that anymore. And anyway, it's hard to say how you make it more clear. But the fact that we need to draw a symmetrical shape horizontally is kind of key for this puzzle, because you have to think about, well, what could we actually build a symmetrical shape out of? And yeah, so you know immediately something like, I don't even know if we can solve this. I don't think we can due to where this is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we cannot actually get this. So that one's out anyway because of that. It gets eliminated because of that. And what else? There's one other one. Yeah, the 3 here. So the 3 here gets eliminated because we know if we put a 3 here, then how is that going to be symmetrical, right? Like, where's that 3 going to go? Like, there's a 3. You can't do it, I don't think, anyway. I guess these have 3s, so maybe you could. No, you can't, because it has to be 3. If 3's sticking here, like, this is a square, this is a square, this is a square, and that's the 3. 3 would have to be in the middle, I guess, right? That's the only way for 3 to work. So maybe I'm wrong. But if 3 is in the middle, I just seem to recall that there's one of these that, like, you can't form anything because of the symmetry, but maybe there isn't, and then I would again reiterate that I find the puzzle kind of pernicious. But yeah, because I guess if it was 3, then it would have to be something like this, right? And the question is, what's on the bottom, right? What's this next bit, right? And the only other things we have are an L block, which is going at best this way, right? So we're talking about an L block at best is going this way. And so where's 3 going to go? Here, I guess? So there, I don't think there's any way for us to actually do 3 because you'd need something that was an individual block here, right? You can't stick something on the outside and then do the 3 in the middle, because then 3 would, like, you'd have to touch like this, right? Because the 3 includes that middle block. So if we did like these, let's say we got, well, those don't even go the right way. So yeah, I mean, this is part of why I don't like the puzzle so much, is because it's really hard for me to say definitively that you can't do the 3, but I remember or seem to recall that you can't do the 3. The 4 block you could do as long as you, like, stuck this guy on it, right? Because you'd get the 4 block and then you'd have this guy. No, that doesn't work. Yeah, this guy, but then you'd need a block here, right? Which we do have a block there. And I think you kind of can do something like this with, like, the 4 block, right? But in any case, very tricky. Very tricky. That doesn't work. Oh, it does work, because, yeah, the 3's in there. Okay. Here, I want to say maybe I have to do the other L, but I'm going to try what we were doing a second ago. Yeah, that doesn't work. Because we'd have our 4 here. This is almost one like you want to crack out the paper for, because it's easier to kind of think about where you're putting things. And then 3 goes here, and then, yeah, the problem is the top, right? And getting a symmetry here is not easy. Unless I had an L, which there is an L here, but I don't think it's possible. I am certain, or almost certain, it is not even possible to get this L, right? It's just a red herring. Because you'd have to be able to end in this corner, and you can't. Because there's no other way to actually, like, move it, right? You can't move it up. You can't move it over. So, yeah, it's like, it's just a red herring. So this one's forced to be this, right? So it's like it's a false choice, right? So if that's that, then this other one here seems useful if possible. Yeah, you can do that one. So that one seems useful if possible. And we've got our parallel L there. I don't know whether we want that. But those 2 L's together can form like a 3 in the middle up at the end, right? Or down here, either way. You know, it could be there or it could be at the end or whatever. And then we've got the other thing is this way, but that's not symmetrical, right? So So we do have this other L, and of course we can rotate this, right? So we can pick different rotations that might work. Don't believe we can do that one. So we can't do this one, I don't believe, because then that would be inside the thing, and both of those are wrong, and this guy's also wrong because nothing's wrong in its area. Can do that. We already did that. And we can't do this either. Or any variation thereof, as far as I can tell. So, however, we can do this, right? Because then that's in that area. So what does that give us that we didn't have before? And if we end up using the 3, I'm going to be looking so dumb that it's hilarious. So, yeah. The tricky thing is really that 4. So if we got a 4 and a 3, we can't really do it correctly. Now we can do the little L block and then the big L block, but then we're stuck with our 4 again. It's hard to explain what I'm thinking in my head, but I know that doesn't work because we've got... The idea was one block goes here, big L, or well, one block goes here, excuse me, big L goes here, and then the problem is that I've got a square, and then I've got another L, and that doesn't really work out, right? So it makes sense to turn the L's into the little L's, the little 3 triominoes, into this shape, right? And the problem then is just that I can't form a symmetrical shape with that. And that is a tricky one indeed. So, okay, I'm pretty sure 3 is not doable. I'm pretty sure 3 is not doable, but maybe I'm a moron and 3 is doable. But I'm pretty sure 3 is not doable. But yeah, there's like just a bunch of different permutations, and that makes things difficult. There's a bunch of different permutations. We can't do this one though. We can rule that out. Here we can do either this, or we could do this, I guess, right? Oh no, that doesn't work because that's right. We could do this, though. That's a thing. Does that matter? Does that help us? Does that help us? Looks like not really. Let's see, L could go there. This little bracket could go there. The little triomino bracket from up here could go here. L could go here. 4 could go here, but then we're stuck again with like an asymmetry at the end, at best. L, little L, and then other L. Just doesn't work out. And our other option here is what? An L that goes this way. Is there anything we can do with that? L this way. Sorry, watching me solve puzzles on these is not exactly what these are about, but sometimes for me, I guess it's my analysis series, and sometimes the analysis is just like live analysis, and that includes solving the puzzle. This is one of the puzzles that I have least solidified in my mind in the entire game. It's always kind of like this every time I go through it, where I just feel like there's so many possibilities and I don't know how to eliminate them. I feel like the 3 doesn't work, but maybe I'm wrong about the 3 not working. I guess if it was 3 there, you could have an L here. 3 here, you could have an L here. And an L here. You have to use the 3. See, this is the thing, right? I'm sitting here ruling out the 3, saying the 3 doesn't work. But then you have to use the 3. So you have to do the 3. You have to have an L, not the L that I have. You have to have an L that goes up and over. So that's like... That is tricky, though. That is a tricky L to have. Is that even possible to have that L? I don't know if it's possible to have that L. I didn't think about that. About whether it's even possible to have that L. Like, we can do an L going down, but that seems like not good action. You can do an L going down. That just doesn't seem like good action. I thought we had to do the 3 all of a sudden. Because then we could put... Oh, it's not going to work because the 3's in the wrong spot. 3 here. L here. Nope. L here. Nope. Because we could put a thing there, but then where's the other one going to go? 3 here. You could put, you know, an L, the little triomino L's here and form a 3 triomino L block here. But then we still have the asymmetry problem of this guy, right? Now, if this was like a tetramino here forming an L. Tetramino here forming an L. Triomino here forming an L. Triomino here forming an L. Then I could do it. Okay, so that was this way. Is that doable? I don't think that's doable either. That's the problem. I think we're stuck the other way, but I guess that's there. So let's say that, this. Okay, what's our other one here? That is not the one we want, unfortunately. So I've only got one that goes this way. Or one that goes this way. I'm doing a 3 here. And I do a L block going this way. Problem is I need one that goes like this. I don't have that. I only have this. Oh my gosh, this is so much watching me solve a puzzle that I've solved before, but I just don't know how to solve because I have no logic or intuition about this puzzle, and me doing that is evidence enough that I don't know how to do it. So, it's not possible to do this L, is it? I'm almost certain it's not. But I'm not 100% certain it's not. Because this would have to be here, right? There's no other place to place it, as far as I can tell. Yeah. And you're not allowed to, like, group them all together like this. because then this guy's not happy, so it has to be this. We're stuck with that no matter what. And I feel like the 3 doesn't work, but I can't remember. Like a 4's better, because the 4 lets us do this bad boy, right? And then we can get 4, and then stick that there. But the problem is that only got L this way and L that way. If it's L that way, then that doesn't work. Maybe it does work. If we... Why is this so hard? I know it's possible to do this one because I just did it. Okay, here we go. If I do that, I've got that block, but maybe that block goes on the bottom, and then we have to think about... No, because then if the box is there, and our big guy's up there, that doesn't work. It just doesn't work. We're making a box with the triominoes, and then we're like making a thing that's asymmetrical up there with the square, and that just doesn't work. We stuck a triomino there, and we had maybe an L that went around it, then we could have that. But that doesn't help us either, because then we're stuck with a triomino at the end. This puzzle is so brutal. It's just so brutal. It never has reduced in complexity for me. It's never clicked for me. If there's something that's supposed to click about it, the only thing that like you have is it's symmetrical. So as I said earlier, not a huge fan of this puzzle. But you know, it is what it is. I just can't figure out anything that I can do here that would work or that would be of any use at all. And I know, like, I remember enough about the solution that it ends something like that, you know, like on a 1. There might be an alternate here, but I just don't remember what you actually do. So, that's great. I don't know if there's some magical alt here that I'm missing or not. There's some way that this can overlap in a way that doesn't nab that. I guess you can do this. But does that actually help? Does that actually help? Say there's a 3 here. Let's say this is like this. Don't see how it does. It's like that, and there was a box here. That, like that, in the middle maybe, and then the box here. Oh, that doesn't help either. Middle. Nope, it's not clicking. Not clicking at all. Not clicking at all. Which is what I hate about this puzzle. It just never clicks for me. And it's not my least favorite puzzle, said, my least favorite puzzle is that shipwreck one, but compared to this, that shipwreck one, it's like breezy, because it's just a matter of actually knowing what to do on that one. So once you know what to do, then you just do it. Whereas this one, it's like, it's always this nest of complexity, and I can't think of a way to 100% eliminate any possibilities. But yeah, it's like if I got that 4 there, and then I try to stick this on the end of it, then that forms an asymmetry, which I then have to resolve by stacking another thing on it up here, which does not work unless there's some way you can do that 3, which I don't think you can. Maybe I need the other one. I don't remember. Let me think about it. Don't remember is the problem. Don't remember, and there doesn't appear to be a way I can do anything other than just try everything, which is frustrating. And I'm sure somebody will tell me that, like, no, there's this thing that you haven't gotten. But I'm the one here doing the video right now, and unfortunately, you can't speak to me through the screen, so unfortunately, I haven't got it. So, I just feel like it was something like this at the end, but don't remember. If I do that, what would that even be? That's not even a thing. So here I can do an L and then another L. That doesn't help me much. The 3 seems almost possible. But then, like, I don't really know where it goes. Maybe the L block goes in the center here. That doesn't seem likely either. So we'd have to do like that, which means we need 1 block here and nothing up here, or an L block here, which I can't do unless I can. Like, am I just being a moron and there's totally some way to do this? Doesn't matter what I do like this, does it, right? Like, it just forms that. Like, we don't get extra squares on that other side of the line, do we? No, it's just on the side of the line with the shape. Okay. There's no way. It's not possible. You can only outline this way, or this way, but that's the wrong side, right? So it's got to be this. Like, we're forced into that. This one we do have a choice. I don't know which one we want at all. So that's frustrating. No idea. Honestly, no idea. I feel like I'm gonna have to leave this on a cliffhanger because we're going on so long that, like, watching me solve this is becoming most of the video, and it's not very good as far as an analysis video. Other than just to say, this puzzle's really hard. I don't know how you're supposed to go about it. It feels very fiddly in a way that's annoying to me. And if there's something that I'm supposed to get, I've never gotten it. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't know whether I'm supposed to do the 3 here or not. 3 gives us a little bit of leeway, but then we need to do something like an L going to the right and an L going to the right, which is not a thing that we have. We have an L going up and over like this. And then we can go this way or the other way. We could do an L like this. But I don't actually think that's possible to get. Unless we could do that one, which I don't think we can. Wait, no, that goes down. Is it possible to get an L going up like this is the question. I just don't know. It doesn't look like it. Because, like, we can go around that, but then, of course, that's right, which is not good. And if we go around this, we've got both of them in there. If we go around it this way, we've got both of them in there. If we go around it this way, we've got both of them in there. So, feels like no. Feels like no is the answer on that one. On that question. I don't want to make a video that's just me solving a puzzle that I'm stuck on for 45 plus minutes. But that's been this puzzle for me, so maybe I don't know. I'm trying to decide what to do. I'm trying to decide whether I cut the video and then I have a separate thing that's just me solving this if people want to watch me solve it. Or whether I just cut it off and come back after I'm done solving it. I don't know. It's like that's a creative decision that I do not know what the right answer is. This is so frustrating. So frustrating, this puzzle. Not a puzzle I like. I think that it's unbelievably finicky, and I don't understand what the point is. Like, the concept is neat, but then solving it is just, like, such a pain. I feel like it has, like, too much going on. Like, this is just never gonna work going down like this, I don't think. Do this, but I've done that a million times. I guess I can do this also. I don't know which of these is better or worse. I mean, this and this could have some potential interlocks. Like you put the tetromino here and then put your interlock here. Here, and then you're going to lock here. Actually, that would work with the 3, wouldn't it? If you put the 3 at the bottom here, and you put the tetromino there, with an interlock there, yeah, that would work. Wait, that doesn't work? 3 here. Wait, 3 on the bottom. L here. This is here. So this here. So I was thinking this here. Or maybe it's like this. Okay, Jesus. Oh my God. Okay. Well, congratulations. I didn't take too much longer, so hopefully it's not the worst watching experience in the world. Hey, look, there's a panel back there. Isn't that so mysterious? Maybe we'll get to that in the future. There's also a panel here that just doesn't make any sense. Why is there a panel there? Why would there be a panel here? So, question is, do I keep going? I don't think so. I don't know how long that next stuff's going to take. It's probably not going to take that long, but this one's gone an hour and 15, and I don't want to make it too long, so we're just going to leave it at this and say thank you for your patience with me trying to solve that puzzle. I don't know what to say about it other than to say that it's extremely finicky and very fiddly. There's a lot of options. There's only one that I can rule out, as far as I can tell, a priori. And yeah, I don't know what the idea was here. So other than the idea of how it's constructed, I get that idea was the idea, but like the actual puzzle solving process is kind of rough on that one, and it's not my favorite puzzle in the game. But nothing's perfect. Even the Mona Lisa's falling apart, so I'll leave it at that, and I'll be back next time, I guess, to finish up this area, and maybe I'll do the triangle panels, and then I think at that point it's pretty much just spoiler territory. Not like full spoiler, but level 2 spoiler. Alright, so alright, I'll see you all next time. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.